The Sesh Podcast, episode 192, take 1. On today's episode of The Sesh, Janelle is back with stitches in her mouth. Will it affect the way she speaks? Is her mouth going to start bleeding if one of those stitches pop off? Find out today. Will Karelly say something hilarious that we all don't notice because it went straight over our heads? Probably. Are Sydney and Kendall pregnant? Possibly. Maybe with each other for all we know. And who will be canceled today? Find out this Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on The Sesh.
Also, you said Thursday, not Wednesday.
Oh shit, we do upload Wednesdays. Sorry. I don't know what's going on. We used to upload on Thursdays.
It counts. That was great.
Thank you. Big Brother inspired.
I love that. We're not all watching Big Brother, but
all of us, but one of us.
Most of us.
Can you guess
are
which one?
Big Brother.
Karelly. You could be.
It's so good.
It's excellent. Best season in so long.
It's really good.
I'm living for it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What makes it better this season than
drama?
Drama.
Great casting. I love like 90% of the cast. I enjoy them. Like, there's many people I'm rooting for. I'm less annoyed, but then the people that are annoying me are entertaining me, and I don't mind it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't debating on talking about it, but every time we talk about it, we get a handful of comments that are like, more Big Brother, more Big Brother.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
the people who love it. You get it.
I'm so into it this
season. You're
season.
missing out if you're not watching
it. So you should watch it. Otherwise, we'll have timestamps down below. You can always skip to the next segment because we have a lot to talk about this week. But
do you think Big Brother's a millennial show?
Yes. No.
The Gen Z has spoken.
No.
I think it's for us oldies.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Janelle's like,
it's
so
been
cool.
on since like 1992.
So what does that
something.
mean? It's
for old people. It is pretty outdated. Like, the way they do things, I feel like they could do some updating, but then the hardcore Big Brother fans would get mad.
They've
it
done
needs
a lot
to be
of
the exact same way.
It's not the exact. It's completely different. The theming. They put up 3 people every week now. That's completely different. They have the AI comp. They never had
the
that.
style of it all, the way they make them talk in the interviews. They haven't like caught up with, I think, the times a little bit.
Yeah, but
so
most
I think
of
it's
the players
it's
are like
kind
Gen
of like
Zers.
overproduced for a younger audience.
It's also
do you see what I'm saying?
reality TV. What isn't overproduced?
Right.
It also started in 2000. Was the first year.
Oh,
yeah,
sometimes the truth hurts, Janelle. I think it's for oldies. I don't know anybody that is Gen Z.
How many Gen Z people do you know? Karelly.
And my sister.
And your sister. Okay.
Does Annalie watch it?
Is Annalie Gen Z?
Yeah.
I think she's right on the cusp. Yeah, I think
we're
she is.
the same year.
No, Annalie doesn't watch it. I've
No.
tried to get her to watch it.
So, we're like the people like Survivor, you know?
If you're a Gen Z out there and you watch it, please speak up.
Yeah.
No comments.
It's so good. I don't know how you could not watch. It's literally the best reality, minus Jersey Shore, the best reality TV show out there.
It was so funny last week. Someone commented, or maybe a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "It's so scripted, you idiots. Are you really believe this?" It's like the least scripted
I would
show.
argue it's the least scripted show out there. Okay,
because I mean, maybe their interviews are a little scripted, or like the games are obviously scripted. They literally are reading a teleprompter.
Yeah,
but like most of the show is just filming these people 24/7. They're not scripted.
The
like whatever goes.
Is. I will say the people who watch the live feeds say that the edits of the episodes are totally like different because what editing isn't.
That's so true.
But the live feeds, there's nothing to be scripted because it's literally live.
Yeah,
you're watching them live.
Mm-hmm. You're watching them sleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I think it's great.
It's very different though, the cut version compared to the live script. Like they definitely like kind of paint people differently and like try to build them into characters they're not, and you like only get the real tea about them. And back in the day when I had a lot of free time, I used to spend hours just watching the live streams, and I'd always have a different perspective. And when they'd show the edited version, I was like, what the fuck?
I love that
so
show.
I know I'm probably getting like a little
Did you guys
washed down version.
Did you guys watch, because I feel like this is more of a Gen Z show, Love Island?
No.
I didn't know. I haven't
That's
watched
huge
it.
though.
It's huge. We should have watched it.
It's pretty interesting.
It
actually.
is. I hadn't watched any of it because it's a UK show originally.
Yeah.
This is the first season that I've watched. It is so good. I'm
It's good.
obsessed with the people.
We should watch it.
It's so good.
You guys would like it.
Is it kind
I'll
of
watch it.
shallow? That I don't like the love shows when they're like really just
I mean,
everyone's
Everyone's hot.
yeah.
I think
And it's
I think
know,
yeah.
I like depth. That's why I like Love is Blind.
Okay. Why don't someone clip that?
Depth.
I like depth. That's why I like Love is Blind.
You know what I mean, though? I mean, because a lot of them are more normal people. They're not all models. Although I do think Love is Blind could do even better with that. But
Kind of what makes it funny.
is every single girl on there like the definition of beauty standards on Love Island?
No.
Everyone has a BBL
really
and fake tits. Yeah.
Oh, I thought some people are natural.
Who?
That one brown hair girl.
That one brown hair.
Leah?
No.
Leah?
Yeah.
No, she had a BBL and she had a whole body transformation.
Well, they did a great job.
No,
'cause-
she looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. I kind of laugh at it because, like, not taking it seriously. I'm not like, oh, they're actually in love.
It's just kind
Yeah.
of fun. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I laugh way more at it. I love Leah and Janae.
Oh yeah,
Oh, Leah was just on Call Her Daddy, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
she was.
And so was Rob.
Well, because don't
Oh, yeah.
don't watch those though, because that gives away.
I know. I already know what happens.
Okay.
But
Do you feel that the people on it are there to actually find love?
No.
Or
no,
okay.
no. I'm
They're
gonna.
there
I'm
to
gonna.
get Instagram followers.
No,
See,
literally.
that's I can't watch that.
Why?
It bothers me. I don't
There's
know.
no way they're gonna find love at this point.
No, dude. Everyone's like sucking each other's face.
Which
like,
Love is Blind is definitely like that too. And those shows are really starting
They all
to.
sleep in the same room.
It's so different in the age of social media now.
That's-
I used to really enjoy The Bachelor and Bachelorette back when like people
That
seemed
show
to be
sucks.
there.
No.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You're
I
right.
can't- I haven't watched
It's
it in a
really
long time.
interesting, like seeing because everyone has like their own social media presence, and seeing like them on social media, they keep up with they keep up with it.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole like side lore. It's
Mhm.
interesting
People
though.
love that show.
Yeah,
The
it's
lore of that
huge.
show is crazy.
Fun.
And the guy that it's like the
Lost.
that talks in the back,
What?
The guy that talks in the back.
the host.
Oh yeah,
Oh, is it more of just like the voice?
it's like this like Australian British
Do you
guy.
hate the voice?
Yeah, he sucks.
I hate the voice of the Big Brother host too. That's the
The
way I did the
guy
intro.
voice or
Yeah,
Julie?
the
Oh,
guy.
I like the guy.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
it's
annoying.
entertaining.
Big Brother.
Big brother.
It's just some of
But
the like, theatrics of it that start
Here's
to
the
annoy
thing. Kendall and I have beef with this season between each other
me. Mm-hmm.
because she likes people that I don't like. Like, who's your favorite?
So major beef.
Yeah.
Well, my favorites, I really like this. Well, above all else, I love Tucker. I love Tucker.
And
And I know
all-
most of BB Universe loves Tucker
Yeah, I was
too.
gonna say most people love
He's
him.
just adding so much to this show.
He's
He is
annoying.
playing the fucking game. What do you think's annoying about him?
He's just like kind of douchey and really cocky.
I don't see how he's douchey at all. Like, what's something douchey that he's done?
I can't remember. I'd have to take notes next time.
I don't know what I
will
don't think
say
he's douchey.
He's extremely good at the game. Like if I'm just going off a gameplay,
He's making it
obviously the best one.
interesting. He's spicy. He doesn't give a fuck. He
It's
exposes
not
people. and
that.
I love that. Yeah, he got up the other day and was like busting out all the alliances. He's like, "You guys have an alliance. You guys have an alliance. I know about this, this, this." Like he stirs it up, and I love that.
Yeah.
You know what? He reminds me of Paul. And most people fucking hate Paul. I loved Paul.
Did you watch both Paul seasons?
No, just that's when I started was his second
Yeah,
season.
Same.
But yeah, I loved Paul.
Yeah.
But I guess
Paul.
like people hate him.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about him. But no, he's
Tucker
playing a
reminds
really
me of
good game.
Paul.
I'll give him that.
Yeah. And I just think he's a good guy. I just like him. I like his personality. He's easy on the eyes.
He's kind of just like
He still reminds me of, like I
Really
said, Jeff
cocky.
Wittick.
what?
What's wrong with being cocky? He's confident. What is he supposed to be like? Timid little soul? That'll make you like him?
I don't know.
It makes the show good.
Okay.
And I won't lie, I have a crush on him. I just love him. I love that he's from Massachusetts. I love that he's a chef. I love everything about Tucker. So I'm pulling for Tucker. But I also like Joseph. I like
Chemo.
Rubino and Chemo.
I like Rubino.
And did I say Rubino? I'm sorry, Rubina.
Her name is Rubina.
I was thinking Chemo.
I love T-Core.
I love T-Core as well.
Love
Those are my
T-Core.
top 5. Those guys.
I know I loved Cedric. I'm pissed that he's gone.
I
I
was
love
too, but
Cedric.
he started fucking with Tucker and he went down.
And I know
dumb.
that this is also what you don't believe in at all, but I like Quinn.
I hate Quinn. Maybe that's a little harsh, okay? I really dislike Quinn.
I love
He annoys
him.
the fuck out
Why?
of
I
me.
think he's really smart.
I don't think he's smart. I think he's
Yeah.
played a terrible game.
What?
And I think he's
I don't
just
think so.
generally annoying. And he is the biggest culprit of sucking Julie's dick. I can't stand it. He gets up there. Literally last time, guys, he got on there and he goes, "Hi, Julie, you look fabulous tonight." And this weird thing with his fingers. And I was like,
You just can't
oh.
Julie love.
stop. I hate the Julie love. And Tucker never feeds into that. And that's why I also love it.
Okay. How about Angela?
Angela's just hilarious. She can stay as long as she can for me
Yeah, for
because
real.
this week she cried over someone eating her charcuterie board, and I loved every moment of it. It was so
Angela
funny.
is she's honestly so crazy that she's kind of starting to annoy me. I could leave the show and I'd be okay with it. She's like really annoying.
I
me.
could go
annoying.
like 3 more weeks of Angela. And
Okay,
then she
yeah.
needs to bounce pretty soon.
She's pretty annoying.
But like
now.
for
I'm
now,
getting sick of
it's
her
funny.
bullshit.
But
She
like they'd
reminds me
be
of someone
smart
I
to
knew
keep
in
her around. She's
real
not
life.
going to keep me
You
too.
know who I'm talking
Well,
about.
we both. I literally texted Janelle. I was like, "Does it remind you of this person?" She was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah." We're not going to say who they are,
No. But yeah, she's crazy. Great for TV though. Excellent for TV.
yeah, yeah.
Who else?
I think they'd be smart to keep her around as long as possible, though. 'Cause she's not going to fucking win.
No.
That's the mistake they always make. They get rid of like weak people
Yeah.
early on because it's easy to get rid of them, and
Yeah.
it's. I just never understand that.
Also, Kendall and I had a discussion earlier. Why isn't the election like Big Brother?
That would make things so much better.
So why don't they get 12 politicians? Or
Yeah, how much they
16,
got?
Stick
16.
their asses in a home.
Mm-hmm.
They have challenges
Like
like
lock them somewhere for 100
like
days.
real life issues that occurred in the world happen. And they
Mhm.
have to figure out a way to react to them and how they're going to
Those are the games.
solve them.
Housing crisis.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a pandemic that just swooped in. What do you
Mhm,
do? How do you
mhm.
get people to, how do you save lives quickly? Like,
Mhm. But it's
and-
like an actual challenge where you have to like build something to make and
Yeah.
show your model.
and then America votes them off.
One by one.
by one, America votes their asses off, and
100
whoever
days.
wins is the president.
Yeah. And we get 100 days of watching them on the live feeds.
Yes.
We never feel like we fully know our politicians. If that's like the biggest, we're
Yes.
disconnected from them. Let's fucking lock them up and watch them for
No,
100 days.
I agree. I think it's so genius.
Lock them up.
Lock them up. Yeah, but
Uh.
for real, I mean, that would make things so much better, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and so much more fun, and so much more fair, in my
And
opinion.
entertaining.
That would be a much better electoral process.
Get rid of the fucking stupid ass college, because
Mhm.
honestly, that no one wants that shit.
No.
And just
Well,
let America.
some people do.
Yeah, just because that's the only way they win.
Yeah.
But and then let them and then let America vote every week.
Yeah.
You go onto the app.
Eliminating. You evict
Yeah,
someone
you
so they
evict someone.
narrow it down
Right.
over time, the more you see them. I really do think 24-hour live streams of our politicians could be great for transparency in America, and our country needs it. And Julie Chen should not be the host.
Who should be the host? Yeah.
Who should be the host? How about
Tucker Carlson.
oh my god.
God.
How about, you know what, like Theo Von? That'd be funny.
Okay.
We get some LOLs out
I
of it.
could take that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just did an interview with Trump and he did an interview with Biden in the same week and somehow does it. I don't know.
Oh, he had Biden there too.
Oh, sorry, not Biden.
Bernie.
Bernie. Yeah.
I was like, I
Great
didn't know.
interview too. Listen to that.
Um.
The Trump one was wild though.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know what cocaine is.
I know
I'm like,
that-
"Oh, since when, sir?"
He's like, and what does it do?
He's like, "What does it
Dude,
do?"
come on.
Anyways, that's all I have to say about Big Brother. Love the
Mhm.
show.
Me
Highly
too.
recommend watching if you haven't. It's a great time. You can watch it on
It's a great time.
fucking I don't know where you can watch it. CBS, wherever you can find that. Paramount Plus.
And just a quick little, since we're on politics, just for a second, I just want to say I'm feeling really, really good about things. The DNC was so fucking awesome.
The DNC was lit as hell.
I felt so inspired. There were so many amazing speakers.
Lil Jon,
Lil Jon was out
Turned down for
there. Mm-hmm. It was, I turned
Michelle
down
and
for what?
Barack's speeches.
And I don't think
Cried.
I don't think we've talked about it since Tim Walz came into the picture. And
I
am
love
a Tim Walz
Tampon
stan.
Tim. Hit me with Tampon Tim all day.
Tampon Tim?
That's what the right gave him the nickname of because he provided free tampons in schools. And they're like, oh, Tampon Tim. When I'm like, that's actually
Why-
iconic as fuck. So they called him Tampon Tim.
You guys really struggle
like,
with
you
your
know,
disses.
now
That's like
you're-
a compliment.
Now he's forcing male bathrooms to have tampons, which isn't actually true at all. But even if it was, like, God forbid, there's fucking hygiene products in every bathroom.
Why would you care? Like, oh, the men are going to start putting in their buttholes. This is a big problem. So stupid.
literally.
Maybe they want to grab one because their girlfriend needs it.
Or maybe they need it.
Or maybe they need it. Yes.
Right.
Yes, in
God.
that case as well. Just such a
Yeah, but
non-issue.
anyways,
It's
they're
always
calling
the
him-
stupidest things.
That's
they
his
find
like
issue with,
nickname
yeah.
is Tampon Tim, which I've
God.
now decided that I will be calling him that because I think that's such a slay.
Yeah,
Anyways,
support it.
big Tim Wallace fan over here.
He is fantastic.
Love that
He's exactly
man.
what we needed, and I'm feeling so much better and more confident. I'm sorry that I was in such a low after that debate.
It's all right.
I felt bleak.
I didn't know.
Felt bleak.
Yeah,
I was
I'm actually
feeling real bleak about it.
Feeling pretty good.
I keep being like,
register to vote, by the way.
do I feel patriotic?
Yes.
Dare I say?
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say I'm about to like buy an American flag shirt if things go well in November?
Mm-hmm. Well, who was it? I always forget his name. He's a conservative, but he spoke and he was talking. What's his name? Adam Kinzinger. He's a
Illinois.
U.S. representative from Illinois. He had a really great speech. I'd look it up, but yeah, he was talking about how there's this conception that progressives aren't patriotic, don't, and yeah, he had some great points, and it is not true. So yeah, I loved it overall. There were some really powerful speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the moms that
ripped
spoke,
my heart out.
oh my God, about shootings, and yeah, the mother from Uvalde tore me up.
Ugh. I give her so many props for going out there and speaking on that.
Mm-hmm.
And like a bunch of women and couples who were just talking about like their experience needing DNCs and stuff from having a stillbirth, or that their fetus was no longer viable, and that they were gonna fucking die if they didn't get an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was all very empowering, and I feel better.
I do too.
Still really nervous though. Don't get complacent, people. Go out and vote.
No, you cannot underestimate Trump.
Go vote.
For sure.
It's time to vote.
Make sure you're registered.
Voting is fun.
Also, did you see fucking Ann Coulter's tweets about Tim Walz' son?
Gus, fuck that bitch.
I know.
She is evil. She is a horrible human being.
She is.
I hate her.
She needs to go away.
She needs to go
to Mars.
She needs to go.
You need to leave.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to be kicked out. She needs to be kicked out. Horrible.
Yeah, she called him weird for crying at the DNC.
What?
And that was the most beautiful dude, that made me cry.
Yes.
Him, like, I've never seen such pride.
He was like, that's my dad. That's my dad. I was like, let's fucking go.
We should put some overlay if people haven't seen it. It was beautiful.
It was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's a bitch for making fun of a son who also has special needs, might I add. Mm-hmm. And God forbid he shows love for his parent, which I feel like that is so telling of who that person is.
Yeah, the only person that's weird here is you, Anne.
Yeah, Anne.
She has the worst takes ever.
She does.
I think she's a rage baiter.
Oh, for sure.
She just gets off on pissing people off.
Even half of like the fucking GOP doesn't like her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why would you?
She's an evil woman.
And then Michelle and Obama just
Michelle and Obama.
I mean Michelle and Barack.
I know.
Killed it.
Michelle's was better than his, I think. Even.
I felt like the soul coming back into my body.
I felt like I was in 2008 again.
Especially when they play his walk-on song. That's Blinding Lights by U2. So good. So good. It brings me right back to the good old days.
When the Grinch felt love for the first time. That was me. My heart's like beating. I'm like, oh my God, USA. I want to chant you. I'm about to start chanting USA.
And I'm really like thriving off of that after being in despair for like a good month there. July was rough.
They're singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Mm-hmm. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
As Michelle Obama said, do something.
Do something. And that's what, remember, Barack goes, don't boo, vote.
Mm-hmm. He's always been saying that. Sorry.
Joked
on my Diet Coke.
God, that was so funny last week.
Wait, why?
I did that last week.
She's like talking.
She like drooled a little bit.
I'm sad that I wasn't there last week.
Oh, we were sad too. Yeah, Janelle.
I hate not being on the
Janelle was sick.
Sucks.
But yeah, you also, to explain the intro,
I had an emergency surgery. I almost died.
Let's put it in the title.
In another world, I would clickbait with that, but no, it was not. It was barely even a surgery. I got some gums cut off of my mouth to make my teeth look bigger. Yes, it's vain, and yes, it's elective. And I know some people will be like, why are you promoting doing things like that? But because I wanted to.
It's not promoting it to choose that for yourself. Not being like, and everyone out there do this immediately.
Otherwise, you're fucking ugly. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just a big insecurity of mine that I've had forever. Sorry. I was joking. Well, I got it. Okay, thanks.
Should we link your dentist down below?
Yeah, link my
Dentist
dentist.
is hot.
No, that's my other dentist. I'm not my gum.
Oh, gum surgeon is
person.
not the hot one?
No.
Oh, tragic.
No, this was like a perio something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I've always had like puffier gums on my front 4 teeth, and it's bothered me. And especially like these little side ones always looked way smaller. So I went in and they cut some of my gum off, and I had some stitches. And I still have 2 left, and they won't come out. It's actually starting to annoy me because I kind of want to pull them out. And yeah, that's it.
You look great. The difference is amazing.
Really?
Yeah, I really didn't expect it to be like that drastic, and
Damn.
I'm noticing it all day. It looks so good.
Really? That is really great for me to hear.
And I do
because
not
makes
think
me
it is vain. Seriously.
Well, it is vain. You can be vain. I don't care. Being
No,
vain isn't a bad thing.
Right.
Care about
Yeah,
how-
maybe that's the truth. It's like, if it makes you feel good,
Yeah.
it's your body.
If it makes
your
you feel
life.
good, you do what you want.
Mhm.
Okay? I'm
I
all
got
for
veneers
that.
after my teeth.
Your teeth look amazing.
I was bulimic for a long time, and so my teeth were like pretty destroyed from that. And I
Yeah.
wanted veneers, and like people were fucking mean to me about it.
Why?
I don't give a damn. Made me feel better. Made my teeth stronger. I was constantly having them chip.
Yeah,
I had to
you
get
were.
bonding all the time. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So
No, do what you want. That's the freedom that we live in this world. That's
well, especially if we vote.
especially if we vote. You want to keep doing what you want with your own body?
Vote.
Vote.
So when my daughter was under a year old and we first started trying solid foods, I was so impressed. I thought I had a magical baby who just ate everything. No vegetables bothered her. She was literally would just eat anything we gave her. And then she hit the toddler stage and decided she doesn't do vegetables anymore. And it has been quite a challenge. And so we're constantly trying to think of ways to incorporate veggies in like a sneaky way. And it can be challenging, especially with how busy we are. So that's why I love services like Nurture Life. It'll make your life so much easier, help you get those veggies down, make sure your kids are having balanced meals that they're also going to enjoy and are just convenient for you as a parent. Nurture Life is a meal delivery service focused on helping busy parents easily feed their babies and kids from 10 months old to 10 years old. The company provides fresh meals and snacks that are delicious, nutritious, and fully cooked. That means they are ready to serve in just 1 minute. Nurture Life lets kids enjoy a healthy, nutritionally balanced diet while still eating all of their favorites like mac and cheese and spaghetti and meatballs and so much more. So parents can be sure there is always something on the menu that their little ones will love. And what sets Nurture Life apart from other meal delivery services? Without a doubt, it's how amazing they taste and how healthy they are. Even Janelle can speak to that. She tried one and she loved it.
I did. It was actually really good.
It's very good. But most importantly, my daughter loves it. Holly's favorite is the white mac and cheese that has hidden cauliflower and broccoli. Also, of course, she loves the spaghetti and meatballs with the super veggie sauce. And let me tell you guys, she downs these meals, and I always feel so much better knowing that she got some veggies in there. And it's even allergy friendly too. And what's great about Nurture Life is their meals are made fresh every week. Seriously, they're never frozen and they're shipped directly to your door. And that's why Nurture Life is the top meal delivery service for babies and kids. Nurture Life's mission is to raise the standards for children's food in America, one meal and one snack at a time. The Nurture Life menu includes on-the-go snacks and superfood smoothies, which my daughter is a huge smoothie fan. It's about time that a flexible meal subscription existed for babies and kids. So head to nurturelife.com and use code SESH for 55% off your order. That's right, 55% off. Once again, that's nurturelife.com for 55% off, and make sure you use our promo code SESH so that they know we sent you. All right, guys, shall we get into the episode? We actually do have a lot to go over. I feel like we say that every week. There's been a lot
It's because
happening.
we talk for like 40 minutes about random shit before we even look at the outline.
That's like my favorite part of the show, though.
I know.
So on today's menu, we have a topic that we have been wanting to discuss the last couple of weeks. However, we have had other topics that were very long and we did not have time to fit it in. But it is very important to discuss. We have had a lot of requests to talk about this. We're going to be talking about Matthew Perry and the recent arrests related to his death.
Yep.
So that is going to be an intense discussion. Like I said, though, necessary, needed. And we will be doing that towards the end of the episode. We're trying to put the more serious topics kind of there so that, because I know a lot of you guys come to the show for fun, but you know, what's requested the most from you guys are these big stories. And it's something that I really want to speak about.
Same.
Especially because I've had quite a bit of experience myself with ketamine.
Yeah.
And it's been very helpful for me, but I think it's an interesting thing to discuss and to raise awareness around.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it's really important. Also, we're going to be getting into some spicy topics. We have some that are
let's just get into
off the chain.
Let's just get into the balls one.
Should we? Okay, let's just start with that.
Karelly is actually going to lead us into this segment here.
All right. Yeah. So what we're going to do now, we're going to play some nice little relaxing music.
Okay.
We need you guys to close your eyes and bring some awareness to your breathing. Take a deep breath in. Now out. Imagine yourself, you're on the toilet in the morning. Okay. After a long night, you had a lot of water the night before, and you wake up with the urge to piss yourself.
I love morning pee-pee.
You go to the toilet. You're in bliss. You're in absolute bliss. You're sitting on the toilet, releasing your bowels and you're like half bladder. Asleep. You're half asleep,
relaxing.
When suddenly you get a bite in your bussy. Your bussy is stinging. What the fuck was that? Your balls got bit by a snake.
Oh shit! I wasn't expecting that.
It's true.
This was a reality for one man. Probably many other people over the years as well.
Dude,
I hope not.
This is my fear.
I didn't have this fear until this story.
Yeah.
Now I'm checking the toilet.
I've always done that since I was a kid. I used to have a major fear of a spider like crawling up my ass as a kid.
Same.
And it got so bad that my parents had to go to the bathroom with me for like at least a year. I would not go by myself. And then there was one time I went to go stay with my grandma by myself. I called her before I went down to ask if she would come to the bathroom with me if I went down. And she did.
Oh.
She sat in the bathroom with me every time I had to go to the bathroom.
That's because really of the spider going up your butthole?
I was so afraid of spiders in the toilet, and I still am.
I
always do a good toilet
check.
For sure.
You must always check. Mm-hmm. But that didn't matter for this poor man.
His name is Tanat Tangtawanan. And I hope I'm saying that right. That is my best take at a Thai name. I did go to Thailand, and I don't believe they don't pronounce H's most of the time. Like
it's not
TH
Thailand.
or PH. Yeah, it's not Thailand.
Yeah.
And it's not Phuket. Or it is Phuket. It's not Phuket.
Phuket.
Yes, he's from Thailand. And he really had the fight of his life, ladies and gentlemen, when he awoke on Sunday morning and started his day like no other, as many of us do, going to the bathroom. And before sitting down, he actually flushed the toilet to check for any unwanted surprises. So he did his due diligence.
Yes, that's like the fucked up part is he was being responsible.
He was
responsible. Oh my God.
So during rainy season, June to October in Thailand, which just a little tip. If you are wanting to go to Thailand, go during rainy season because you will save so much money. We did that and we had one day of rain out of the whole thing. It was amazing. But anyway, during this time of year, monsoon rains cause flooding that will force snakes to leave their burrows and find shelter in the piping.
No.
So he didn't see anything and he sat down to do his business. And then moments later, he felt a sharp, stinging pain in the poor man's balls.
Oh.
Something gave him a little nip or a big nip. He said he reached into the toilet and grabbed the snake by its neck with its fangs still attached to his jewels.
Oh, what? My God.
So horrible.
Attached to his balls still.
Oh, it's so awful. It's so bad.
I would just be so scared.
I would pass out.
I would never.
Imagine it's on your
sit on the toilet
crunchy lips.
Oh my God.
Stuck in there.
It's like the worst possible thing.
No, that's like the worst thing you could ever go through.
Mm-hmm. So finally the snake released its grip and Tanat spotted a toilet brush within arm's reach and started whacking it repeatedly over the head as hard as he could. And he said that, the adrenaline was pumping and the shock really overpowered the pain in that moment. And this was a python, man.
12 feet.
12 feet in his toilet.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's so crazy. And it finally went limp and then he pulled it out of the piping, all 12 feet of it.
Yeah.
There are pictures. We're going to blur them because I know a lot of people could be
saddened by the dead snake.
For sure.
Which I agree. Sad for dead snake. But also he bit his balls. Like literally what are you supposed to do in that situation?
Also, it's a 12-foot fucking snake.
Python.
Pythons like
self-defense.
Kill?
Boas.
They're constricting. Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're biting
Pythons
your balls.
Are poisonous though,
They
right?
can be. But thankfully, this one was not. It was not poison. It was not
but he didn't know
venomous.
that in the moment.
No. His balls were in jeopardy, dude.
They were
Can't
in
blame
his
the
mouth.
man. Can't blame the man.
Oh, that's so
Okay.
horrible. So there is a video, and we will blur out the snake.
Yes.
But let's take a look.
Oh.
I like how TMZ bought this clip.
Yeah, like, yo, can we take this?
Oh, did it show up?
Now, okay, there's some blood on the floor, and I want to know if it's from the snake or from his balls.
I believe it's from his balls.
So
Pulling it out.
awful.
You would think after that, his balls would be like, damn, he'd be like in serious condition. He was not only needed a few stitches because luckily the snake
Yeah.
wasn't venomous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could have been a lot worse.
But still, like, that's just so the worst thing I think I've ever heard,
Me
to be
too.
honest.
Really, really bad.
Which, again, to remind you all, please look at the toilet.
Did you guys
Take a little.
have you guys always like
peek.
looked in the toilet before you sat down?
Always.
Yes. You don't do that, Karelly?
No, I never have.
gonna-
Look
You're
under
gonna
the
do it
seat
now.
everywhere. There may
Dude,
be
are
a
you
snake curled up.
joking?
No, I swear.
I don't look under the seat
I don't
anymore.
poke-
I
Okay,
did.
well, I'm a
I
little
did as a
bit-
kid though.
I go too far.
I did a full inspection as a kid.
Okay, this reminds me, though, of like, you weren't here. I don't know if you were here sitting. Probably you were here because you're the one that experienced this.
Bro. Okay, I blacked this out of my mind. I have not thought about this. So the other day, it was so fucking scary. I was in the bathroom, in our main bathroom, and I do my business. I'm on my phone when I'm on the toilet.
Right.
So
Of course,
I'm usually
everyone
doing it
is.
mindless, right? I'm usually doing
Yeah,
a mindless,
Right.
go reach for the toilet paper. Bitch, I look at there's a spider this
No,
like
it
the
was, like,
size of
this
a
big.
quarter. Like
On
a
the
big
toilet
quarter. On the toilet paper. I'll insert a picture of
What,
it.
like a wolf spider?
You-
type
No,
of
it was a
picture?
daddy long.
No, it was
Ugh.
not a daddy long leg.
Yeah,
bitch.
what?
No, it was not.
You don't think?
No,
It was huge.
no, dude, it was huge.
It was like this
Daddy
big
long legs
on a-
have.
On a
They're
square.
skinny. Like they're skinny. They have little bodies, big butt.
It was probably like
And
a
big
wolf
arms.
guy.
It was gross. It was so fucking scary. I think I shat myself.
Dude,
it was,
that would fuck me.
Oh
It was
up.
like
my
on the
God.
roll of that's like hanging down, like you know, like the strip that
Yeah.
she
Hangs out
would have
in a little
grabbed
bit.
first,
Yeah,
like
you
the
do.
first
So
strip
you
of the
do.
roll.
Thank
I-
God you didn't pick it
Dude,
up.
I think I might have screamed. I don't know if anybody heard me, and I was just like paralyzed. I did
Dude,
not know what
that
to
is
do.
traumatic.
I don't even remember wiping, to be honest. Like,
You came out and you were freaking out. I had to go in there and I like pulled it off and dropped it in the toilet.
Did you guys take a photo?
yes,
I'm pretty sure it's a daddy long leg, dude, because it was slow. Wolf spiders are like,
I had my wolf spider moment last week. I remember I texted you guys when I was coming in from the gym.
oh yeah,
I work out in my garage and I stepped on a giant wolf spider.
With
like
your
at
shoe,
least the
though,
size
right?
of a quarter. Yeah. But it
That is
crunched
good.
and like exploded. I didn't mean to.
God.
I just
Ew.
it was
Ew, ew,
so
ew, ew.
gross.
When was this? I don't remember.
This was like 3 weeks
probably
ago.
Thursday.
No, it was like last week.
Oh no, your encounter, yeah.
Yeah.
Karelly's was like probably 3 weeks ago.
You know what
Mhm.
sucks is that I don't know,
Oh.
the algorithm really knows how to screw with you, because I think later that day I was on Instagram and I follow this bug creator, and he's like he raises bugs and
I
stuff.
actually love those accounts.
Me too. I really do too. But this one, he or maybe it was this account. They had a bunch of baby spiders that were just like emerging from the sack, and I'm like, this is
I've seen stuff like that.
traumatizing.
That I
Fuck
can't.
no.
I can't really watch spider content.
spider content.
Mm-mm. Like I'm really
No
into like
Spider-Man
stick
for-
bugs and leaf
no
bugs,
Spider-Man.
butterflies.
Ew, ew, ew,
But
ew.
I'm into those.
I have
Beetles.
I'd say like
Ew.
arachnophobia. Is that what it's called?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I got that.
I got all
All the
that
phobias.
shit phobia.
Spiders are just so fast. Like it's just, there's too many legs.
Karelly, Cindy, do you like butterflies?
Not really. I mean, I can look at them, but I don't want to be near it.
I found the
Oh,
picture.
let me see.
I'm gonna insert it. Dude, this is bigger than a daddy long leg. Like this is, I don't know what kind of fucking spider this is.
Oh, you got evidence. Let's see it. That's
Right.
not a wolf spider. Wolf
No.
spiders are thick boys.
Yeah, it was like
and they're like hairy.
it was too slow.
But that doesn't look like a daddy long leg either. Maybe someone in the comments can identify. It's got like
Imagine
kind of a
seeing
red
that.
body.
Imagine seeing that while you're just trying to do your business.
Absolutely
Dude,
not.
it was
it's,
so
it's
Dude, what if
big.
you like
That is
What
large.
if I grabbed it?
no, what if you grabbed the
Oh.
toilet paper and like used it to wipe your
And
coochie
then it bit me.
or something?
Or it's like remains where when you
Ew, 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 ew,
You know?
Yeah, that is not working for me.
ew.
Anyways, moral of the story is check your toilets.
Actually, I love every time we see like a snake or a spider or something, we can like post it to our followers and someone knows what it is. So I'm sure someone can tell us.
True. Rest in peace to it. It died. Well, I'm sorry, but like you're invading everyone's privacy at that
Dude,
point.
like that was
Mhm.
like
you
What
crossed the
fuck?
line.
Like, it's not even like you're just here. You just You went on the toilet paper that people use to wipe their genitals.
That's really rude, actually.
Yeah, it's extremely rude. That's what I'm saying.
The disrespect.
Oh, it's ridiculous. You know when you discover that new show, or maybe it's a new song that you just cannot keep to yourself, you have to share it with your friends. For Kendall and I, right now it's all of the TikTok remixes coming out of the DNC that we're just bopping to all day long, okay? And, sometimes you just gotta share the joy with your friends. And that is exactly why I'm excited to talk to you guys about Mint Mobile today, because the prices they have are so good, so unbeatable that you can't just not share it with your friends. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. And friends don't let friends overpay for wireless. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan and switch to Mint Mobile. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And what's really cool is that you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan, so you don't have to go get a new phone, and you can bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. So to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/sesh. That's mintmobile.com/sesh. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/sesh. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on a 3-month plan only. Speeds lower than 40 gigs on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Okay, so this next story, I saw this yesterday and absolutely had to talk about it. It's like kind of I'd say feel good for the most part, but definitely makes you think. But I think the feel good part comes with how far we have come. So far, still to go.
Yeah.
But before we get into the next unhinged person we're going to be talking about, this is a nice moment. I want to pay our respects to Edward Thomas Ryan, who was a military veteran and retired firefighter. And he also owned a local radio station. And he sadly passed away on June 1st. But what really made this story go sort of viral is he left a really powerful message in his obituary, and I definitely wanted to share it. He actually came out as gay in his obituary,
which is so sad.
That's the sad part, that he felt like he needed to hide that his whole life. But I think there's beauty and bravery in the fact that he chose to share that after all this time. So this was published on June 8th in the Albany Times-Union and included a message that he wrote prior to his death, and I'm going to read it. I must tell you one more thing. I was gay all my life. Through grade school, through high school, through college, through life. I was in a loving and caring relationship with Paul Cavagnaro, I think, of North Greenbush. He was the love of my life. We had 25 great years together. Paul died in 1994 from a medical procedure gone wrong. I'll be buried next to Paul. He continued saying, I'm sorry for not having the courage to come out as gay. I was afraid of being ostracized by family, friends, and coworkers. Seeing how people like me were treated, I just could not do it. Now that my secret is known, I will forever rest in peace. And it definitely makes you think about all the people who take that secret to the grave with them.
Yep.
And suffer holding that in their whole lives, never being able to be their true selves. And it really has brought up the idea of so many people, even to this day, still like to pass the narrative around that all of a sudden it's trendy to be gay, to be trans, that it's just
why is everyone gay now?
Where are all these people coming from? It's because the woke mind virus has made all these people gay and trans. I just want to say, you people are fucking idiots if you think that. Truly. I mean, you could not be any more stupid if you actually cannot understand that there's a reason why people had hid this for so long. And that now people are feeling more free and more comfortable to come out than ever. And there's still probably, I know actually, there are thousands and thousands of people that still hide it to this day.
Yep.
We can only hope that by normalizing it, more and more people won't have to live with a secret like that and then can just actually be themselves and embrace who they are.
Newsflash, there's always been gay people. There's always been transgender
Since, the
people.
Dawn of time.
Yeah,
it's documented throughout history.
Were severely bullied, discriminated against, and killed.
Yes.
If they came out.
Right.
So that's why.
Quite frankly, dangerous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And still is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the sad reality is even though it's becoming much more accepted and,
celebrated,
the laws have caught up and everything. Well, in some cases.
Yeah.
We're making lots of progress, but still, yeah, it is still dangerous, especially in some areas of this country and world. Definitely in other parts of the world.
Oh, yeah.
To be your true self.
Yep.
That's why talking about these issues are so important. I know people get so sick of it and are like, why are we still talking about it? Now gay marriage is legalized, so shut up.
What?
No, people say that.
No.
It's so
we will continue to talk
annoying.
about it because there's discrimination is still rampant among LGBTQ plus people. And also here in America, their rights, just like women's rights and many other people's rights, are severely at risk of being taken or changed in a way that is harmful to them.
Yeah.
And so we have to keep talking about this. I think it's really empowering, like you said, and a beautiful thing that he took it, I guess, to his grave, but was able to, I guess, speak his truth once he had passed.
He came out.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah. But it's just like,
not the way.
It just makes me so sad that he literally took his identity to the grave because of fear of being ostracized from his family, friends, and coworkers, as he said.
And having this amazing 25-year relationship with the love of his life that he had to hide.
Yeah.
This is why we still talk about it.
And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, in 10 minutes ago, you just said that people who have different views than you can watch. Yeah, different views, but not if you're like just blatantly homophobic.
Yeah, that's not
or racist or sexist.
Mm-mm. Sorry.
When it comes to human rights, like I really just don't see a way to agree to disagree on those issues.
Yeah, I completely agree. But this I thought was a really amazing story, and I'm really proud of him for making that decision. It probably couldn't have been easy. I'm sure he thought about it for a long time, whether he wanted that to be in his obituary, but I think that is such a cool way to do it. Obviously, that's not the ideal way to do it, but I just think it's really inspiring that he, especially being a veteran and a firefighter and in these roles where society doesn't get it, that it's just, I thought it was a cool story.
I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, big shout out to him. And also thank you for your service, sir. Rest in peace.
I have this habit of going out in public in pajamas all the time, and John's always like, hey, are you gonna change? And I'm like, no, because I don't care. But now, great news, guys, because Skims has the best loungewear that you can wear in your house and out of your house. So now I don't have to hear about the nagging of why you're wearing pajamas outside of the house, because they're cute enough to pass as just regular loungewear, not even pajamas. I love so many things from Skims, but I have to be honest with you, the loungewear is without a doubt my favorite. It is so soft, like buttery smooth. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's like stretchy, but doesn't get stretched out in the wash. I hate that when you wash something and then like the neckline just looks totally busted after like 2 washes. That doesn't happen. It looks brand new every single time. They have really cute colors and cute designs. I just truly cannot say enough good things. They keep you cool but also warm, like you're not going to overheat and sweat in them, but they'll keep you nice and cozy, especially for the fall months coming up. I don't know what it is, but their loungewear is seriously magic. I cannot get enough of it, and I highly recommend that you try it if you haven't yet. I specifically like wearing the soft lounge sleep set because they have like the matching PJ set, and I like wearing them when I'm working from home because I feel a little bit more put together, which makes me feel more productive, but I'm still really comfortable and really cozy, which is always of utmost importance to me. So shop the Skims Soft Lounge collection at skims.com, now available in sizes extra small to 4X. And if you haven't yet, be sure to let them know that we sent you, and after you place your order, select the Sesh in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows.
One more quick unhinged story before we get into our main topic for the day. This is like fucking weird, but also kind of hilarious. Okay, this is Chloe Lopez, British OnlyFans model, who is wreaking havoc anywhere she goes by leaving her worn panties on food shelves in the grocery store, on the gas pump handle, and in vending machines, literally anywhere she can drop her panties and stick them in.
She's like the Panty fairy. Who wrote that?
Me. I like that. Panty fairy.
We have a good video of it though.
Okay, let's see. All of her panty videos are captioned with leaving a donation.
Yeah,
she sees this as a donation.
Yeah.
Girl, this is a biohazard.
Like in front of people.
The chick behind her. Ew. She does it in the bakery section of the supermarket.
Oh, it reminds me of fucking weirdo here in Colorado. Remember him?
Oh, Sperm Boy?
Yeah, that was
who was
jizzing on the bagels.
on all of the produce.
Wait, when?
Remember that?
We covered it. Remember the dude that was in Fort Collins?
He was like going to Safeways.
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously not quite to that level, but
I thought you were gonna say it worse. I was like, no, I don't think it's worse.
no. That guy was a menace to society, and he's
disgusting.
Locked up. But yeah, the thing is, okay, so most people are definitely on the side of this is disgusting, but I know that there are some people that are also like, she's just promoting her business because she's trying to promote her OnlyFans with it. But it's not like she's writing her her web link. It's not a business card.
No, it's to go viral because she knows that that's like insane behavior to have.
Yeah.
If you're trying to promote your business, why don't you like take a clean pair of undies and like write something and like leave it somewhere?
That's the thought I had, Janelle.
I feel like it might be just like rage bait, and she does have like maybe multiple pairs of underwear on going through her through her Instagram, and a lot of the panties are the same pair of panties. Whether she has like,
maybe she just bought a variety pack that she was fine getting rid of.
Maybe that's true too. Yeah, that's true too.
And supposedly her husband is the one. I read this. This is not. I can't confirm, but people are saying it's her husband that takes the videos, and they're just doing this to make money and to bring in.
Of course they are. That's exactly what they're doing.
So they go all over and just put them everywhere.
But even if it's fake, it's not fake. Even if you have another pair of panties underneath, it's still coming in contact with
yeah, it's like leaving any sort of pair of clothing and then putting it in someone's food that they're buying.
Or like so disgusting.
People were like, what if a kid reached into the vending machine?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be so enraged as a parent. Or even if she's doing these in public places.
That's what I was,
where there's kids walking around. Like what if a child just walks up behind you and the girl's pulling her thong down and dropping it in the fucking vending machine?
That's a memory that a kid's not going to forget.
But it did make me think, like, could it be done in a tasteful marketing? No, but what if it was like a completely unworn pair of panties and you leave it in somewhere that's intended for adults, like a club with like your business card?
I'm kind of into that.
I don't really think there's
it's not
anything
a
wrong with
biohazard.
that. Exactly.
If you just, let's say you buy some panties off of Amazon and you write down your information on the tag or whatever, and then you like drop them off at like a club or something.
But it has to be somewhere where kids cannot be.
Yeah,
of course.
Because there was a couple of videos where there was like literally like a kid walking behind her, and I'm like, have you not been arrested and like charged with like a crime?
Or could you like go up to someone and like have it in a gift bag and be like, would you like this free pair of panties? Check out my OnlyFans.
Yeah,
here's a gift.
Yeah,
she does do this in mattress stores, and there's a whole like sex vibe that she's trying to provide too. Like she takes them off, she kicks her legs up in the air, and it's like it's just more than just taking
she does them in
off.
A mattress store.
She takes them off and puts it under the pillow, but before that she jumps on her back and lifts her legs like in the air, and she's just trying to. People are going to keep watching.
She's going viral for a reason.
So not only is it disrespectful to the people who are going to come in contact with it and just disgusting to people viewing this happen, but also to the business owners that you were like putting your dirty panties in their beds.
And now they have to come get it out.
Yeah. It's just
and food is disgusting.
Nuts.
Like that is so disgusting.
She put it like with the hot dogs or something. I'm like, okay.
With the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Smart.
I could go for a hot dog.
People these days are just so fucking crazy.
They'll do anything for a view.
Yeah.
People will do anything for a view. And yes, there's so much content. You got to keep upping the ante. You got to keep upping it constantly in order, because you have to continue to think of the next craziest thing to put out there in order to get more views.
And the problem is you can't leave enough hate comments to make this person stop. That's what they want. Any engagement is good engagement. So there's really like, how are you supposed to stop it?
Yep.
But is there responsibility on the social media accounts to like take down harmful content like this? Because I would consider this
like the platforms.
Yeah, like what if it inspires other people to start dropping their panties and sticking it in the bread section? It's just so bizarre.
Yeah,
this is really where we're at. 2024.
I'm actually surprised that. Do we know if any of her content's been taken down?
But I don't think so.
I'm kind of surprised that it wouldn't have been taken down just because of. I don't know. I feel like everything gets taken down.
There was
nowadays.
a post in March that she did that is now removed.
Okay, well, there we go.
So I don't know if she removed it.
Yeah.
Or what.
Well, also if you, I think if you report, like if enough people report something for long enough, it'll get taken down.
Can you be arrested? Because it's not like public nudity, but you are.
Can you? Wouldn't it be something like tampering with I don't know, like a public asset. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a biohazard. I feel like it's sort of in the same category as Fort Collins
leaving.
We need like a name for him. I do not remember this guy.
Yeah.
Remember Karelly? He was like, it was at like Safeways and stuff.
His last name was Masalta. I don't remember what his first name was, so.
I want to say it was Brian.
It was Steven.
Ah.
He was only 32.
Yeah, he was a nasty motherfucker.
Yeah, he was arrested for 14 counts of indecent exposure. That's because he was jizzing on
but
fruit.
This is a form of indecent exposure.
That's what I would think.
He did it on the pastries, too.
Yeah.
He was glazing.
Yeah, he was... Ew.
So sick.
Dude, that is disgusting.
But he also had like a very long rap sheet, too, of other, like very dark, disgusting things. All this girl stuff is still on her Instagram.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean...
Could it be rage bait?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
But like maybe it's not even real, you know? Maybe she's just like we said, having clean pairs of panties.
But they are on. We have video of her taking them off.
No,
so they become dirty second they are on you, no matter if you have, she's taping it up before?
No, she just has multiple pairs.
It's still in your groin area.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I feel like something should be done about this.
Someone do something. Can someone take care of this, please?
Do something. As Michelle said.
Do something.
So let us know what you guys think of Miss Panty Dropper.
Do something.
Parents out there, we are headed into battle season. And what I mean by that is it's getting cold. And that means you can't take the kids to the pool. You can't take the kids to the park. How are you going to entertain them for the hours that you have to? Well, that means you need fun things to entertain them and keep them off of their screens when it's cold out. And I cannot recommend KiwiCo enough. Oh my gosh, we love KiwiCo in our house. They have some of the best quality toys. If you haven't heard of KiwiCo, they deliver seriously fun learning through hands-on projects and activities. Each month, kids receive crates packed with engaging hands-on activities designed to introduce them to exciting science, technology, and art concepts. And there's always something new for kids to discover, like engineering robots or maybe learning about the science of ice cream. With 9 monthly programs to choose from, KiwiCo is something for kids of all ages, ranging from infants to preschoolers to teens and beyond. They recently sent us a space kit where my daughter was able to build her little cardboard space box and then fill it with different stuffed planets, stars, moons, and then there were stickers to decorate the whole outside of the box. And now it's a toy that she got to customize herself. Now, each crate is designed by real experts and tested by the true experts, which are kids, to ensure that every experience is age appropriate, engaging, and seriously fun. And crates come with everything that kids need to build, including materials and instructions, and you'll be surprised at how high quality the materials are too. It can be really hard to find creative ways to keep your children engaged, challenged, and most importantly, off those screens. And KiwiCo does all the legwork for you so that you can spend that quality time tackling these projects together. Plus, there's no commitments. You can pause or cancel at any time. The best part is watching their creative confidence grow as they tackle different challenges. Redefine learning with play. Explore projects that build confidence and problem-solving skills with KiwiCo. Get 50% off your first month of any crate line at kiwico.com with promo code SESH. That's 50% off your first month at kiwico.com, promo code SESH. Switching gears here in a big way. We need to talk about Matthew Perry and the recent arrests that have been made in his death. It will be interesting to see how this plays out over the next probably year, maybe longer.
Probably longer, yeah.
It reminds me of Conrad Murray and all that, remember? With Michael Jackson's death. I'm really glad people are going to be held accountable for this because this is just horrendous what happened to him. So if you are not familiar with Matthew Perry, I'm sure most of you are. He's really known for his character Chandler Bing on Friends, which I don't think any of us have seen Friends. Or Karelly? No. I've seen like a few episodes here and there. Not really a fan of it, but I totally get it's like a huge comfort show for so many people, and people felt very attached to him. The only thing I've seen him in is 17 Again, which is one of my favorite movies. Have you ever seen that?
Which one's that again? I think I might have seen it.
Him and Zac Efron. It's kind of like a Freaky Friday situation.
Yeah, I think I have seen
like
that one.
Upset with his life and his marriage is falling apart, and he goes back to the glory days of 17 when he was this basketball star. And so he's like back in high school. He switches bodies goes back in time. It's very good. I love it. And I loved him in that. I've been meaning to check out his book. I actually downloaded it and then I never started it for some reason.
Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard it's really good. But he does talk about ketamine in it, which we will bring up.
Which, by the way, this whole topic has to do with like substance abuse.
Yeah.
So if that is something that is upsetting to hear about, just want to let you know. Maybe you want to skip out on this topic.
Yeah. So Matthew Perry really struggled from what I understand, and from what I think has been brought light more in recent times, but I think it's something he'd been pretty open with throughout the years. That he really struggled with substance abuse, alcohol and drugs for a long time. And when he was on the show Friends, he actually said that his co-stars would rally around him and support him. But he did at one point, he talked about how there were 3 years of filming that show that he doesn't even remember, just been fighting this battle his whole life. And he got a sober companion who was working with him to help him on his road to recovery. And it seems like he had a lot of, as many people who struggle with substance abuse do, many ups and downs, you know, times where it would get better and then times where you fall back into it. And it's just a horrible disease. It's very, very, very difficult to overcome. But yeah, he really did make quite a bit of effort throughout his lifetime. He was in rehab several times and was really open about it, which I think is really powerful that he tried to help others. Oh, and in 1997, he was in a jet ski accident. And this actually led to him becoming addicted to the painkiller Vicodin, which was a drug that he seemed to struggle with the most in his life, from my understanding. But he also had problems with alcohol, methadone, and I can never say this word, amphetamines. Thank you. And in 2000, he was hospitalized with pancreatitis. So it definitely was taking a serious toll on his body as well. And in 2018, his health problems really seemed to reach their peak. His colon actually exploded due to opiate use. And this required a 7-hour surgery, and he was given a 2% chance of making it through the first
Which is
night.
So scary.
So scary. That just sounds so painful, so brutal. And after that, he spent 2 weeks in a coma. So he had really been through a lot in his life. And he spent $7 million trying to get sober and attended 6,000 Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. He went to rehab actually 15 times and had gone to therapy twice a week for 30 years. So he was certainly putting in the work. In 2012, he actually turned his $10 million Malibu compound into Perry's house, which was a men's sober living facility. So pretty incredible that he also tried to help others.
Yep. Very selfless.
Very selfless. And this project received an award from the White House the following year. So very, very cool that he did that. Like I said, he seemed to be very open and honest about his addictions and his efforts to try to get clean, but unfortunately, he was not able to fully beat them. And in most recent years, it was reported, and seems pretty obvious now, that he was experiencing a out-of-control ketamine addiction, and that he had at least 27 shots of ketamine in the 3 days leading up to his overdose.
So before we continue, though, I do want to mention that there have been multiple allegations that he was abusive and assaulted multiple people, including his ex fiance. And there's, from what I can tell, like, I haven't seen tons of info on it, but there are articles that have come out that he allegedly threw a coffee table at his ex fiance, Molly, is her name, Hurwitz, and then assaulted multiple women. Sources say that he threw a coffee table at her and told her that she was crazy, and he hated that she dumped him, and he had really bad abandonment issues. I'm assuming that while this was going on, he was also having difficulty with substance abuse, which obviously doesn't make excuses for it. But it
definitely factors in.
I would say so. Yeah. It's also been reported that in another incident, he allegedly got violent with his sober live-in companion. Her name is Morgan Moses. And supposedly, at one point, he shoved Morgan into a wall and threw her onto the bed during a meltdown in March of 2022. So I just wanted to at least mention these things because obviously it's still very important to talk about. And just because something terrible happened to him doesn't mean that you just ignore, things that he's done in his past as well.
Yeah, it's always tough to bring up things like that, especially about someone who's passed, but it's important to acknowledge the reality.
There's also claims that like some of the nurses were treated poorly by him throughout the years, and like he had to pay for a lot of women to go to therapy over it. So like Kendall said, I think it's important to acknowledge that and at least, discuss it.
So on October 28th, 2023, Matthew was found dead at the age of 54, so young. And he was found unresponsive and face down in his hot tub. And there was a lot of questioning in the early days of what could have happened. And now, obviously, we have a lot more answers as time has passed. The autopsy revealed that his death was caused by acute effects of ketamine. It listed drowning, coronary artery disease, and buprenorphine, an opioid that's used to treat pain and opioid addiction as well, as contributing factors, but not related to the immediate cause of death. The autopsy also noted that the amount of ketamine in his blood was equivalent to the amount used for general anesthesia. He was using a lot towards the end.
Yeah.
It's pretty mind-blowing. Cause of death was ruled an accident, but in May of this year, LAPD actually opened an investigation into Matthew's death. A report noted that he had been receiving regular ketamine infusions to treat depression and anxiety, but his last infusion was over a week before his death. And I know that many of you have probably heard me speaking very highly of ketamine treatment. I still stand by that. I actually still microdose ketamine pretty much every day. It's been a huge game changer for my mental health. I've done infusions in a medical center, monitored and given to me by a medical professional and walked through it by a therapist.
And the ones you do now are still supervised by medical staff.
Yes. Yep. I do
getting it
daily check-ins and yes, I know. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. And it's microdosing. But I do it pretty much every night. And it is, for me, it's an alternative to an SSRI, and I've seen excellent results with it. And you were thinking about trying it, or you're going to, right?
Yeah, I've been interested in it because Kendall, you've been using the microdose for like a year.
Maybe like 9 months.
Yeah, I've taken tons of SSRIs and like NDRIs, and they're fine. Like they have definitely worked for me, but I'm looking to maybe try something alternative. And just based on the research I've done, it seems like it's a good option for me. And I'm not saying it's a good option for everyone, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I am curious about it, and I've, signed up for it and have done the consultations and whatnot. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think with everything, anything in life too much of becomes a danger,
mm-hmm. And can be abused.
And so,
especially that amount.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And the way that it was being administered and who was giving it to him,
it's illegal.
Yeah. So
mm-hmm.
I just want to put that out there, but
yeah,
I know that, Kendall has spoken about her positive experience with it.
Yeah. I mean, it truly changed my life. I am such a different person. And the ones that I did like pretty large doses that were administered via IV in a medical setting. And that really, really helped. And then I'm doing the microdosing more as like maintenance for that.
Mm.
When I started kind of slipping back into the way just like older habits. Sure. And, tough mental times.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to go back and do the full on treatments, but doing microdosing has been extremely, extremely helpful to me. So I'm glad that it's available for people who need it. It really is an excellent tool. I really believe in the medical healing of psychedelics in general. And I'm glad that it is becoming more normalized and stuff. But of course, there's a lot of bad people out there and people who are going to take advantage of people with addiction, and it definitely could be addicting for some people. And they're supposed to factor in your own past experiences with substance abuse, mm-hmm. and whether or not you are a candidate for it.
Yeah, because not everyone is. Just like
no,
there's no treatment that everyone is a candidate for.
Yeah, and with the service that I use, it was a whole process, which you just did the process too. They have to ask you a lot of questions and prove that you are a candidate for it. And they check in. They actually do daily check-ins. You'll start getting text messages from them every day. You have to fill out a survey. And
I do believe that for the most part with any psychedelic treatment, it's not like your first line of defense that you're using. Usually, in order to even be thought of as a good candidate, you usually have had to have tried other things in the past, like medication or therapy or whatever it is.
The service that we use requires that you have I think they require that you have used an SSRI in the past and it didn't work for you, or you want to try something else, something like that, and that you're also in receiving therapy as well.
It is, I think, interesting that, because obviously, like Kendall said, I think that there is a huge potential that psychedelics could be healing for people and help with all kinds of stuff, whether that's anxiety, depression, PTSD, whatever it is. And in order to actually prove that or not, we need studies done. And so I'm hopeful that we can continue to get more funding for these types of things so that studies can be done, so that we can really start to get some concrete information out there of whether or not, these are viable treatments for these types of mental health conditions. I mean, there's even talks about certain psychedelics helping with addiction.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
So I'm very pro, let's try and fund these types of studies so that we can get, actual information and real statistics out there of proving whether or not this helps. And if it does, how does it help? And
how do we regulate it?
How do we regulate it? Exactly. Yeah. And
this is probably pretty foolish of me, but I actually didn't know that. I guess it's very foolish of me. Of course, you can be addicted to absolutely anything. It never occurred to me. I had never heard of ketamine until Josh found these treatments for me. And I figured that they were I didn't realize you could get it like on the streets or recreational. Yeah. I didn't realize that it could be used as a party drug. Personally, I could never imagine like partying on it. It makes me very sleepy. And like the big doses that I've done made me like disassociate. And I'm like in a dark room with a mask over my eyes. And it's like kind of having this weird, in my experience, it was like having a dream, but like being awake still. But I wasn't, I guess it's tripping to some degree, but it wasn't like I was hallucinating or seeing things. And then as soon as the IV stopped, it just stopped. At-home treatments I use are not like that at all. They're like so mild. If anything, it sometimes makes me feel like a little woozy if I like get up. I have to lay down during it, because if I try to stand up and go to the bathroom, and sometimes I've had to, and I'm like, whoa, it kind of feels like a little tipsy feeling, but it's never like tripping necessarily. Yeah, because it's such a small dose. But yeah, the point of it is to reconnect pathways in your brain and to help. It can be a really great aid for, like you said, people with addictions, and also people with PTSD to dissolve some of that trauma and work through it. So, and it doesn't work for everyone.
Which, by the way, like I guess, more traditional use of ketamine is for like short-term anesthetics. So it's like if you're getting a procedure or something, that they could administer it. It's kind of like that sedative.
There's this interesting episode of Pharmacopoeia on Vice. It's an older show.
I love that show. It's so
back
good.
When Vice was solid. But yeah, they have a great episode on ketamine in that.
I think I watched that recently because I was going to bring up a Vice documentary on ketamine that I watched.
Oh yeah.
And it's definitely become a more popular party drug. The way that I've heard it be used in like that setting is more of like, I don't think people are like using it in the midst of partying. I think it's more so like after the night, you know what I mean? Like it's to come back down.
It's so interesting to me, because I just could never imagine. Yeah. And like with the treatments I use, you're not supposed to like have had any alcohol that day or
and that's one thing too, is it's so dangerous to mix ketamine and alcohol.
Oh,
like that,
absolutely. Yeah. That's like one of the big things they drill into through these treatments.
Yeah. They have awful interactions.
I guess, I just didn't know you could like crave it and withdraw from it. I mean, it makes sense, because like, I guess with my microdosing, the way that they have it set up is you can skip a night, you can I skipped a whole week when I went on a trip, and I never felt my body like craving it or needing it.
Sure.
I started noticing my mental health like sort of getting a little wonky there, and I got back on and it helped me. But yeah, I just never really like knew the dark side of it. I've only known it as like an extremely helpful tool that it has changed my life. So it's very sad to hear, and just the amount he was doing and how often I just feel like you'd be in this constant like fog and disassociating. Like, to me, it's not like enjoyable. Like, I know I'm doing it for my health, and yes, it can be relaxing, especially the big infusions, but at home it's something like I have to do this because it's going to help me, but it's never like I look forward to it. So
it's like, like having a drink or something.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's just my experience.
Anyone can be addicted to anything, right?
Yeah.
So
it's also important to note that these treatments, especially at those size doses, are supposed to be monitored by a medical professional, and that was not the case for Matthew. So this discrepancy had investigators really kind of scratching their heads, wondering why he had so much ketamine in his system at his time of death. And now, 3 months later, 5 individuals were hit with varying federal charges, including conspiracy to distribute ketamine causing death. The investigation uncovered a broad underground drug network that is super scary, however, not surprising. It's always just so insane to me that doctors can get to this level, and it really makes you question, the medical help that you get.
Well, unfortunately, there's great doctors and there's also horrible doctors, just like for everything, you know. Mm-hmm. So one of the people we're specifically talking about is Dr. Salvador Plasencia. He was actually Matthew's doctor who supplied him with recreational ketamine, and he runs his own practice in Calabasas. But yeah, he was one of the suppliers for it. Also, Dr. Mark Chavez is a San Diego physician who ran a ketamine clinic, and Mark would get additional ketamine from wholesale distributors of various controlled substances and falsified statements on forums saying that the drug would not be sold to third parties or used for any other purpose. And obviously that ended up happening. And then we have Kenneth Iwamasa, who was Matthew's executive assistant and personal manager from April of 1994 to October of 2023 for a long, long time.
Yeah.
This person would be closely with Matthew.
Like a trusted friend, really.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was. Friend.
Then we have Eric Fleming, who's kind of like the middleman all this. He's like the supposed acquaintance of Matthew who, I guess was working as a middleman through this whole thing. And we'll get into more details about that here in a minute. So then we have Jasveen Sangha, who is known as the ketamine queen, which is telling in itself and extremely scary. And prosecutors are pretty sure that she was the dealer and really has this whole operation that she's running outside of her home in North Hollywood. And we think this because she's pleading not guilty, but she's looking very guilty. I'll just say that. And supposedly when talking about Matthew to other people involved in this whole case, she would call him Chandler, which I would assume is just to try and have one degree of separation between.
They had a bunch of different code names for everything, which we'll get into.
The indictment alleges that Jasveen's distribution of ketamine on October 24th, 2023 is what caused Matthew to pass away. And she had been distributing ketamine and the illegal drugs we mentioned found in her home since 2019, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office press release. So she had lots of different. It wasn't just ketamine. It was tons of different drugs that she was dealing out of her house. And like we said, she's known as the ketamine queen. So basically, after this whole thing happens, obviously there's a search warrant done to her house. And there's, like I said, a ton of different drugs that are found. To be more specific, they found 79 vials of ketamine and approximately 3 pounds of pills containing methamphetamine, which that is so much. Mm-hmm. 3 pounds doesn't seem like a lot. That is a fuck ton. They found psilocybin mushrooms, cocaine, prescription drugs, and all of these were legally obtained.
So here is sort of the timeline of events that started in September leading up to Matthew's death. There obviously could be more that happened before September, but this is the information that has been reported officially by authorities. According to court documents, in September of 2023, Dr. P found out Matthew was interested in buying ketamine, so that's when Dr. P allegedly reached out to Mark Chavez about purchasing the drug for Matthew. The documents also allege that Dr. P sent Mark a text saying, "I wonder how much this moron will pay."
Completely exploiting him.
So Mark supposedly sold Dr. P 4 vials of liquid ketamine, ketamine lozenges, syringes, and gloves. Mark obtained these after writing a fraudulent prescription in a patient's name without her knowledge or consent, insane, and then lied to wholesale ketamine distributors to buy additional vials of liquid ketamine that he intended to sell to Dr. P for distribution then to Matthew. And then Dr. P allegedly left the drug with Matthew's assistant, Kenneth, and that's when he taught him how to inject the ketamine so that he could give it to Matthew with no medical training.
That is so insane to me.
That is.
Why? He has all of the money and ability to get someone to administer that has medical training.
Yeah, I'm very confused about that part.
I think it's because it was
just more convenient.
More convenient and illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was.
Well, because I mean, let's think about it. I don't think a medical professional, like when he's giving him these infusions, isn't going to give him this much fucking ketamine. Like this isn't for medical use at this point. This is 100% recreational.
Yeah.
But even Dr. P, I mean, if he's going to provide it, October of last year, Kenneth texted Dr. P saying he wanted to buy not just injection sessions, but also to just get the vials of ketamine to do at home. The two supposedly referred to the drug as Dr. Pepper while messaging about it. They often, as Karelly said earlier, communicated in code with others in connection with his death, and he admitted to administering several ketamine shots to Matthew, including on the day he died. In a press release, it says that Matthew's assistant, Kenneth, also obtained ketamine for Matthew from Eric and the ketamine queen, Josephine. Eric coordinated the drug sales with the ketamine queen and would pick up cash from Kenneth and then bring it to the ketamine queen's stash house to buy the vials of ketamine. According to the documents, from the beginning of October to the day of his death, Matthew purchased at least 75 vials of ketamine through his assistant. So much. Court documents also allege that Kenneth gave Matthew at least 6 injections on October 25th to 27th.
So that's in a 2-day span.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And I think that's underestimating it too.
Probably, yeah.
So like now we know there's ketamine coming in from Dr. P and whatever, Dr. Chavez and Eric and Josephine. So 2 suppliers ultimately.
They were both obtained illegally, obviously, but Dr. Chavez's was from a ketamine distributor, like a provider.
Yeah.
Whereas Josephine's, I think, was
More like the
street grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really scary because who knows what the hell also
Exactly.
Yeah, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I also wanted to clarify, I might have already said this, but the microdosing that I do, I don't think you can get like injections through companies that offer at-home treatments. They're all lozenges. Like, they're not liquid or injecting, for anyone that's curious about it. And, you know,
I would assume that if you're wealthy enough and have the connections, you can probably hire a doctor to come and do the infusions for you at your house.
Yes, you can.
But like, there's no way in which they're like mailing you syringes to inject yourself.
Exactly. I just wanted to clarify that for anyone who's interested, and I didn't want to like scare anybody. But yeah, I just take these little lozenges and they like come in a little pack. But anyway, on October 28th, the day that Matthew was found deceased, Kenneth admitted to injecting Matthew with ketamine 3 times that day. I just can't imagine the fog that you would be like, what that would do to you.
I also
hard to wrap your mind around.
I would also imagine that his tolerance is probably quite high at that point.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So it probably wasn't having the same effects that it would have if he wasn't using it on the regular. And according to Kenneth, Matthew told him, quote, "Shoot me up with a big one," which is so scary. And unfortunately was the 7 words that led to Matthew's death. And this is where I just get so pissed. Right before Kenneth left to go run errands and got the hot tub set up for Matthew. So he's like, all right, I'm going to shoot you with ketamine, get the hot tub ready, and then leave and go run some errands while you sit in a hot tub on ketamine.
I cannot understand this part of it at all. I don't understand. Oh my God. This guy was in his life since at least 1994, at least working for him. Maybe before that. Who really knows? But someone he clearly trusted.
Yeah.
And why the hot tub?
I know.
Was it like to enhance the experience? I don't know.
Well, probably just like relaxing.
Yeah, and then just left him there.
Yeah, Kenneth said that after the 3rd injection, he cleaned up the syringes and bottles of ketamine and left the house to run errands.
Yeah, make sure to take the drugs, clean the scene.
Yeah, which is also, this is kind of a side note, but crazy is that in the past, he actually found Matthew unconscious twice in his home. So the fact that this had already happened to some extent, and he decided to do it again, leave him, and knowing that he was going to be in a hot tub is so stupid and irresponsible.
Beyond.
Why?
Mm-hmm. It's really just evil. I mean, really no care for other humans,
horrific.
Especially someone who he probably considered his friend. But
and also,
could he really have been his friend? You know,
one thing too is like at high doses like that, and especially like I'm assuming like what
Matthew was taking was obviously it was extremely high doses. He was probably getting himself in K-holes. And K-holes is when you take too much ketamine and it kind of like turns off your mind, obviously, but it does have physical effects where you cannot move, you cannot speak, you are completely disassociated from your body. You cannot there's no movement going on.
Yeah, that's
like
so
you
scary.
you can it's almost like not like nodding off, but you can like literally like essentially fall asleep and not be able to move your fucking body.
This drug is used for sedation in hospitals
Yes.
when you're getting surgery.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to sedate you.
And that's what the large doses that I did were like. It was like fully like I'd have an eye mask on. If I even like pop my eye out, I'd be like, I can't. And I don't think they were quite to the point where I was like unconscious or anything like that, but I was definitely disassociated is the right word.
Maybe not unconscious, maybe, but like completely disassociated.
It's like an out of body.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes back to the house and finds Matthew face down in his hot tub, and he calls 911, and paramedics arrive within a few minutes, but it was too late, and Matthew was dead by the time the paramedics even got to his house. And in the 2 months leading to his death, Matthew was sold $55,000 in ketamine.
That is so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they were just like upcharging the fuck out of him.
Definitely.
I feel like $55,000 of any drug would.
Well, you know that the doctors and the other people, they wanted to make a cut, so they're going to charge higher so they could take a cut and then cover the cost.
They're doing like home delivery and shit too, so I'm sure. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
They're completely like. Mm-mm.
Okay, so that same day, this is where things get really sketchy here. That same day of his death, Jasveen, aka the ketamine queen, deleted her messages with Eric from an encrypted messaging app called Signal and instructed him to delete all their messages and distance themselves from selling ketamine. And this is all according to an investigative report. Major red flags. Okay. Then on October 30th, Eric allegedly texted the ketamine queen asking how long the substance stays in someone's system, since a 3-month tox screening would be performed on Matthew.
You'd think these people would know that already, but right.
And then apparently Eric messaged ketamine queen 2 days after Matthew's death saying, quote, "I'm 90% sure everyone is protected. I never dealt with Perry, only his assistant." So the assistant was the enabler. So they're clearly just trying to,
true, he is an enabler, but so are you.
Yeah.
All of you are. This message specifically was between Eric and Kenneth, but it's unknown when this was sent. It says, "This is what they look like. She sells them all day. She won't go less than $250. Let me see if I can borrow it to buy one he CB test." I'm guessing he meant once. But if he likes it, which I'm confident he will, he has to pay me back.
When they're
it's all about money.
It's like pictures of 3 little like bottles.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward now to December of 2023. This was a few months after he had died. Like we had mentioned, the LA County Medical Examiner's Office released a toxicology report concluding that his death was a result of, quote, "the acute effects of ketamine." And like we said, it was ruled an accident for a while.
Yeah.
Which even when that came out, I had a feeling like, oh, there's so much more to this story.
There's gotta be. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, 5 months later, the LAPD back in May confirmed that they had an open investigation into Perry's death, focusing specifically on how Perry obtained the ketamine found in his system when he had passed away. And like we had mentioned, he had been in treatment for his depression, was receiving ketamine transfusions by medical professionals in a medical setting. But obviously he was also getting it from people who were illegally distributing it. So then this month in August, the U.S. Attorney's Office for Central District of California shared a press release announcing that Dr. Salvador Palencia, a licensed physician, and Jasveen, aka the ketamine queen, were arrested on August 15th in connection with Matthew Perry's death.
So that brings us to the recent charges that were filed for the 5 people involved, starting with Dr. Salvador Palencia. On August 22nd, Dr. Palencia pleaded not guilty to charges of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, 7 counts of distribution of ketamine, and altering and falsifying documents or records related to the federal investigation. In February and March of 2024, when he was asked to provide documentation in connection with the federal investigation,
Dr. P provided altered and falsified medical records, claiming to show that he had a legitimate treatment plan in place for Matthew, with the intent to influence the investigation into his death. Dr. P was released on a $100,000 bail on Friday, August 23rd, and surrendered his license to prescribe controlled substances. Now, though, Dr. P is allowed to reopen his practice, which I cannot believe that, but with restrictions. According to reports, Dr. P has to inform any patient that he sees what he has been charged with and what he's accused of, and the patient has to fill out a consent form. I don't know who the fuck would want to go and see this man. I really hope that it will hopefully destroy his business. But what's really going to destroy his business is the fact that he could face up to 10 years in federal prison for each ketamine-related count and up to 20 years in federal prison for each record falsification count.
So he's looking at like 120 years right now.
Yeah, 120 years. So, and hopefully they come down super hard on this man. Dr. Mark Chavez on Friday, August 30th. So this upcoming Friday, Dr. Chavez is set to plead guilty to one count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, and his sentencing date will most likely be scheduled for October 8th. He will face up to 10 years in federal prison. And then Matthew's executive assistant, Kenneth, he pleaded guilty on August 7th to one count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine causing death. He has signed a plea agreement and faces up to 15 years in prison. And he has admitted to repeatedly injecting Matthew without medical training. Eric Fleming, the middleman, Eric pleaded guilty on August 8th to one count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine and one count of distribution of ketamine resulting in death. He admitted that he distributed over 50 vials of ketamine that he obtained from Jasmine, ketamine queen, to Kenneth, including the ketamine that killed Matthew in the end. Eric faces up to 25 years in prison. And then Jasmine, of course, she was arrested on Thursday, August 15th, and was charged with one count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, one count of maintaining a drug-involved premises, one count of possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine, and one count of possession with intent to distribute ketamine, and 5 counts of distribution of ketamine. She pleaded not guilty on that same day, but the judge said that she should remain in custody. Good call on that one. Her next hearing has been scheduled for October 15th, so we'll see what happens going forward. But if convicted on all of these charges, she could face a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years in federal prison and a statutory maximum sentence of life in prison.
She's facing a lot of time.
Yeah, as she should.
And U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada said in a statement, quote, "These defendants cared more about profiting off of Mr. Perry than caring for his well-being. Drug dealers selling dangerous substances are gambling with other people's lives over greed." So true. This case, along with many other prosecutions of drug dealers who cause death, send a clear message that we will hold drug dealers accountable for the deaths that they cause. And Matthew Perry's stepdad, Keith Morrison, which I did not know they were related.
I didn't know
until
I had no
idea
this story first broke. Which if you don't, I'm sure most of you, especially fans of true crime, know Keith Morrison. He is the host of Dateline. Yeah. Dateline.
Yeah. He actually spoke out after investigators announced the charges against the 5 people in connection, and he said, "We were and still are heartbroken by Matthew's death, but it has helped to know law enforcement has taken his case very seriously. We look forward to justice taking its course, and we're grateful for the exceptional work of the multiple agencies whose agents investigated Matthew's death." Now, one thing that's interesting that I had come by more recently is that Matthew's ex-girlfriend actually has some doubts over this whole thing being the cause of his death, and she specifically said that he was absolutely terrified of needles. Her name is Katie Edwards, and she dated Matthew in 2006, and they remained close friends even after their breakup until he had passed away. And she even worked as his assistant at some point in 2011. So she was really questioning what actually happened the day that he died, because she says that Matthew was absolutely petrified of needles and even confided in her that he feared of dying via injection, and he would never do that. Like, he would never use needles. He would never inject himself with any sort of drugs because he was so scared of needles. And in an exclusive interview, she actually said, "This is the weird thing to me. Matthew always told me that he would never, ever use needles or inject anything into his body. He didn't even want to have tattoos. I would often see him very high and using a lot of different drugs. I would always get so scared and tell him that he had to stop mixing all this stuff, saying that you're going to die. But he was always like, you only die when you use needles. And I would never, ever, ever do that." And she questions why no drugs or paraphernalia was found at his house and why Kenneth would just leave him, which again, I question why he would just leave him too.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about her. There is another interview on YouTube of her. If you want to check it out, it's on the Mirrors channel.
That's where this is from.
Yeah. So if you want to watch that interview yourself, I believe it's copyrighted, so we can't play it. But yeah, it's really, really sad listening to her just experience with the whole thing. And I wonder if it had gotten to a point though where he became desperate enough to use needles.
My guess, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. We don't know, and I don't think it's appropriate to speculate too much on that. And obviously she had actual experience with him, so just a note, I guess. And another interesting thing to note is Matthew had actually talked about ketamine therapy, I believe pretty briefly, in that memoir I mentioned earlier, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. And he likened the effects to being hit in the head with a giant happy shovel. He says it has my name written all over it. They may as well have called it Maddie. He wrote later, adding, ketamine felt like a giant exhale. They'd bring me into a room, sit me down, put headphones on so I would listen to music, blindfold me, and put the IV in. So those are the exact treatments that I did. I would disassociate, see things. I've been in therapy for so long that I wasn't even freaked out by this. Oh, and there's a horse over there. Fine, might as well be. So he was like seeing things.
Yeah. Did that happen to you?
Not that I can remember. Mine was just a lot of like pretty colors and like visuals and like nature scenes. I didn't really have like weird, but I know that does happen.
Sure.
My dad did the treatments as well, and he has a lot of trauma from his childhood, so it was like I think it's very different for everyone, the way that your trauma comes out.
Right.
But yeah, he also wrote, as music played and the K ran through me, it became all about the ego and the death of the ego. That I do relate to, also known as ego death, which happens in a lot, just like doing psychedelics. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It can be hard, but it can be very healing.
Yeah.
He said, I often thought I was dying during that hour. Oh, I thought this is what happens when you die, he continued. Yet I would continually sign up for this shit because it was something different. Anything different is good. So I wonder if it was even helping him or if it was just a way to escape.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like he was struggling so badly mentally that he was willing to do whatever it took to escape. I mean, the fact that he was allegedly, actively seeking someone to inject him at his house and then getting in a hot tub, like
3 times
that's
in
not
one
a
day.
therapeutic way to do that.
No.
And I'm not, shaming him for that. Obviously he had been through a lot in his life, and addiction is a horrific mental illness, but it seems like he was using a lot of it to try and escape.
Yeah. He also said the hangover was rough, adding that it felt like a fucking pincushion. That's interesting. Yeah, when I did it, it was I never really considered it like a hangover, but I guess it kind of was. Like I'd just be really tired and like knocked out for the next day, but by the next morning I was always fine. Yeah. Obviously much lower doses, but still. Yeah, so just a horrible situation. I'm so glad that they are pressing charges, and they really need to make an example out of these people. And this is happening to thousands of people who are getting these substances, especially wealthy people who have access to doctors like this. And of course, not just wealthy people. It's a street drug as well, but it's just, for people who actually have a medical license to be distributing these drugs, it's just so scary.
Yeah.
And people need to understand that there are serious ramifications. I'm really glad that Dr. P is facing up to 120 years. Unlikely he'll actually get that much, but maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I didn't know that Conrad Murray only received 4 he received 4 years, but actually only served 2.
Yeah. Not crazy.
Wow.
I know. So yeah, I doubt it'll actually be that much, but hopefully they come down as hard as they can. But anyway, yeah, very tough topic. I really want to hear your thoughts on this, or any of you who have had experience with ketamine as a treatment.
I think there's going to be so much more coming out in the next months, years.
Yeah.
I think we're just like starting to really unfold this entire
it's literally
story.
Just been in this month that these
charges
came out. Yeah. And we also just wanted to say, if you yourself are struggling with addiction or are in need of mental health help, there is always help. We will have resources linked below. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, I think is how you say it. They actually offer a national hotline, helpline, and it's free, it's confidential, it's 24/7, and 365-day-a-year treatment referral and information services for individuals and families facing mental or substance use disorders. So we will have links in the description box. You can contact 1-800-662-HELP.
But yeah, we'll definitely be following this and seeing what comes out of it. So fucking sad, though.
It is.
Just horrific.
Horrible way to die.
These fucking people who are just like dealing mass amounts of drugs need to be...
And saying things like, I wonder how much this moron will pay. It's just evil. It's evil. It's greed. The way that the judge put it is exactly right.
Yep. But yeah, that's it for this week, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Hope y'all are doing well out there. And
sorry we've been covering some intense topics lately, but I think these are important things to discuss.
Yeah, I agree. That's it. We will see you guys next week on the Sesh.
But until then,
keep it fresh.